All right, and we are back live. This is Survival Radio Network, and we are broadcasting today live from Bloodso's Barbecue here in Atlanta. And the smells and the aroma, whoo, is off the chain. So if you're in the Atlanta area, we certainly encourage you to come down here and partake of some of this delicious food down here. We're on Walker Street in Atlanta, 323 Walker Street. And also, Bloodsoes is the winner of the Steve Harvey Neighborhood Awards 2012 and 2014. So I'm just saying that, come down, grab you something to eat. It's off the chain. Today, our hashtag is hashtag SRN Live, showing local love at Bloodsoes. Hashtag we do radio. And we have a guest this afternoon, gentleman by the name of Kervance Ross. And he is a marketing expert, author, and speaker. And he's going to share with us a little bit about what he's up to and some of the exciting things that he's done. So welcome, Kervance.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what have you been up to lately? What's going on in your world?
All is well. I have no complaints about life. Things are going well with business. Things are going well personally and professionally. So right now we are getting ready for a book that we have. This is my second book. It's coming out in July called The Kingmaker.
The Kingmaker.
The whole momentum of our online, our YouTube channels, speaking engagements, all of this is kind of tied into the Kingmaker piece from the Kervance Ross brand.
Wow.
And I'm really excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
What we have going on with our firm, KDR Consulting. As we get into our interview and our conversation, I'm really excited about what we're doing for corporations, for nonprofits, for governments, and particularly what we're doing for faith-based organizations, which I'm excited about. So, all is well.
So you got a lot going on. So I'm gonna put the ball in your court and let you jump into what you would like to share with our audience today.
Well,
What's the first thing you'd like to share?
first thing I would like to do is thank Survival Radio because anytime I get on with Clark, Michael, and this whole network,
Yes.
I owe them a great debt because when I first started business almost 9 years ago and put my first book out, had no idea what I was doing. Clark gave me a platform to speak. Michael, being a Frederick Douglass High School graduate,
Yes.
he did the same. So anytime we have something going on, I'm excited about it. But right now, we are getting a lot of traction with the YouTube segments. We started a YouTube channel because when I was talking with my team and looking at our end of the year in 2014, as I spoke across the country, people would call and ask, "Are you on YouTube? Can we find your videos?" And I had done a poor job of making sure that there was a platform for it. And with this concept of the Kingmaker, it's a word that I have created that was given to me actually by a client of mine. Saw some of our work and made a very interesting statement. Said, "Did you know you were a Kingmaker?" And didn't know exactly how to respond to that. And
That's
as we
huge.
kept talking about it, I did some research from a biblical standpoint, and with my faith, I really wanted to embrace this moniker and recognize that as I put the definition to it, and we're trying to get it entered into the dictionary in the next 2.5 years, it's an individual or a group of individuals or an organization that helps propel an individual to a place of prominence, prestige, or power as they're
Wow.
either on the rise, currently on the platform, or
Wow.
moving through the space that they are designed and purposed to be in.
And do you realize that you were already doing that because someone else told you you were the Kingmaker?
Very humbling.
Wow, that
Um,
is huge. And you probably didn't even know you were doing it.
had no idea
Mm-mm.
because often when we're in business and building, we're so big in the grind and having our head
Yes.
down
Yes.
that we don't take the moments to step back and actually look at it and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I've done pretty good here."
And
And that's a mistake that I think a lot of business
yeah.
owners and people who are building their dream make.
Right. But it's confirmation that when you are walking in your passion and walking in your purpose,
hmm
that you get that confirmation on the other end. Kingmaker was your confirmation that
And
you were doing it.
this changed the whole game for me because now I was able to recognize
Mhm.
exactly who I was and how to create this brand around it so that
Right.
I could embrace it. And from that point, we created this this kind of phenomenon
Mm-hmm.
called the Kingmaker. And all of our training, our developmental pieces,
Right.
everything that you see on our YouTube channel
Mm-hmm.
is based off the fact that I recognize from my purpose standpoint that my goal and the reason that I'm on the planet is to allow people to see the greatness in them and help
Mm.
them manifest that greatness, whether it is in business,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's from a spiritual aspect, whether it's from
Mm-hmm.
an inspirational aspect. So my goal before I leave the planet is
Mm-hmm.
to touch a billion people and allow them to see that greatness is who you are. It's in
Mm.
you. You just maybe don't see enough images of what greatness looks like to tap into
Absolutely.
your greatness.
Absolutely.
So the channel, all of the videos, we put one out every week,
Mm-hmm.
and we've received phenomenal feedback,
Mm-hmm.
and it's expanded the platform. It's given me greater opportunity across the country, and I'm really excited about it. So it's leading up to the book,
Mm-hmm.
and the book is going to really give business owners, business leaders,
Right.
spiritual individuals, families,
Right.
whatever aspect of life you're in, if greatness is what you're concerned about,
Mm-hmm.
this book gives you a template, a blueprint, and a roadmap
For that.
for that. Yeah.
So you mentioned inspiration. So can you take us back to the beginning
hmm
and tell us what or who
hmm
inspired you?
That's an interesting question because I am from the inner city. I'm not
Okay.
far from here. I grew up on Bankhead
Okay.
and grew up in a single parent home.
Mm-hmm.
At one time, I had four women in my house at the same time trying to raise one young man.
Mm.
I really couldn't tell you what my dad looked like if he
Mm-hmm.
was standing in front of us.
Right. Right.
But the inspiration for me was how I looked at the situation.
Okay.
Most people would see this and say, "Hey, man, that's a detriment. You didn't have your dad." For me, I looked at it from a perspective that God thought enough of me to remove the problem before I
Mm.
got there.
Mm. That's
So it
huge.
started to
Right.
channel that. My great grandmother, I grew up with my great grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother is just had a birthday. She's 88.
Oh.
Um, these two women,
Yes.
including my mom, who I saw do everything for
Mm-hmm.
me,
Mm-hmm.
worked for Coca Cola for 38 years.
Mm.
Never recognized that I couldn't do something. She
Mm-hmm.
exposed me to a lot.
She set that
She
example
set the example.
and planted
So
that seed.
she planted the seed that you
Yes.
can go out there and not do whatever you want to do because
Right.
I think we give kids the wrong perspective to say you can be whoever you want to be.
Right.
I, that's such a fallacy because no
Mm-hmm.
matter how hard I try, I can
Right.
go out and play basketball every day for the
All
next
day.
10 years.
Right.
I'll never be LeBron James.
Right.
But I can do what I'm purposed to do and
Right.
what I've been called to do. She helped me set that template. My
Mm-hmm.
grandmother, I never wanted to let these people down.
Right. Right.
And my first pastor,
Mm.
Jasper Williams Jr.
Oh
I
yes.
got a
Yes.
chance to watch him from a perspective that
Mm-hmm.
most people had never seen a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Saw the good and the bad,
Mm.
and the perspective that I received was ideal for me
Right.
because I learned very well from mistakes.
Right. Right.
And don't tell me how you won. Tell me what you did when you were losing.
Absolutely.
So those are the areas that were inspirational to me and
Inspiration
kind
for
of
you.
set the template and set the rubric for moving me forward.
Right. Right. So tell us a little bit about KDR Consulting. Tell
Okay.
us a little bit about that.
KDR Consulting is that's my baby.
Uh-huh.
My I started this about 9 years ago,
Mm.
and we are a national, what we call holistic marketing, branding, and development firm.
Mm. I like that.
The reason that we look at it from a holistic standpoint is because although we do websites, we do logos,
Mm-hmm.
that's such a small part of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at it from a holistic or a total level,
Right.
we generally go in and become the marketing department. We
Mm.
want to not just do a project for you. Our goal is to develop a relationship.
Okay.
So we can do everything from marketing strategy, your
Mm-hmm.
development, your segmentation.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go in and do your brand analysis. We'll create your logo.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the pieces that really changes the game for us is the developmental piece
Mm.
because marketing is only effective when it's first embraced internally
Okay.
and then inspired and
Inspires. Right.
focused externally.
Right.
So really it's challenging if you create a logo that your people don't believe in. It's challenging
Mm.
to create a website and your staff doesn't have the new psychology behind it. So we
Mm-hmm.
actually go in and do developmental training from an executive leadership standpoint.
Okay.
We go in and help train your staff, your sales department, whatever the pieces are, because that's the concept of marketing
Right.
that makes the image focused and makes it impactful. So we've done this for corporations, we've done it for nonprofits, we've done it for
Mm-hmm.
government, but uniquely, we are really, my passion is churches and faith-based
Mm-hmm.
organizations, because rarely have I found, particularly growing up in church,
Right.
the last place we want to be professional is church.
Ooh.
And we're trying to help pastors, ministries, and organizations see that although the gospel is free to all,
Mm-hmm.
you still have a specific target market that you've been assigned to.
Right.
And if you don't know what you're
What?
promising to people, they don't know what you're delivering.
Right.
So
Right.
we help them get those pieces together, and it's been quite beneficial for us.
So you have a holistic approach. What are some of the things that, and I think that is a beautiful thing. What are some of the things that maybe some of your clients don't think about in that they have this vision and they have this
Hmm.
ideal, but there's some very important pieces that they might think are minute
Yeah,
that they don't think about.
I don't call this a secret sauce, but we approach every client consultation with the main question, no matter who you are.
Mm-hmm.
What is the one thing that you feel that you've been born to do,
Mm.
that if you don't get it done, it
Mm-hmm.
won't get done?
Oh, say that again.
What is the one thing that you feel that you were born to do,
You were born to do.
that if you don't get it done, it won't get done?
Wow.
That is the rubric and the template for
Yeah.
marketing.
Yeah.
Because if I understand your purpose and why
Mm-hmm.
you started this organization, what's your passion behind it,
Mm-hmm.
it makes it very easy to brand.
Right.
But the challenge is, most organizations have either been started because of a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
the concept has been watered down as other employees have been added, and
Mm-hmm.
we've gotten away from the original reason why the
Reason.
organization or the business was initiated. So
Right.
once we get that question out the way,
Mm-hmm.
we can now start creating a strategy, because often you'll find why businesses are not successful is because they've gotten away from the purpose and the passion.
Wow.
So if you can stay true to that,
Right.
it makes it very easy for us to design a logo or a website,
Mm-hmm.
because we know what your focus is.
Right. Right.
Otherwise, we're just throwing logos at you. We're trying to create a website that doesn't look anything like you. So
Right.
we put makeup on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
and the business looks really ugly.
Mm. Oh, say that again. Say it. Go. You preaching now. Go ahead. Say it one more time.
We're putting makeup on the internet through a
Yeah.
website or through a logo, but the business is really ugly. You
Right.
say
Right.
that you are really concerned about people, and the person that answers your phone is not a
Is
people
it
person.
right?
So to be able to mesh marketing, branding,
Mm-hmm.
development, and understand that they're not segmented, they're jointed.
Right.
And we help you bring those pieces all the way together.
And they
And
work
our goal
together.
is to be your partner.
Right.
We don't want to just come in as the consulting firm to the
Mm-hmm.
stars. We
Right.
want to be
Right.
able to, if you're a small business, if you are, McDonald's,
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's may not need they don't need a logo from us.
Right.
So
True.
if all we're doing is designing logos,
Right.
we're counting out a large target market. So
Right.
the holistic piece ties in for anybody
For
that's
that.
operating.
Okay. So now you said you grew up in church.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Kervance, as a little boy, what kind of mischief did he get into sitting in the pew on Sunday morning? Come on.
I never really had that issue. My
Mm,
mom,
not even once.
no, well,
You didn't get that look at
I
least once.
have, and the challenge is, because I grew up between the hood and the church.
Right.
I had a mom who was trying to steer me the right way. I think the
Uh-huh.
worst thing that I've had happen in church, I had a few cousins, and they were
Mm-hmm.
older than me,
Mm-hmm.
and left out of the service early trying to hang with
Ooh.
the older
Uh-oh.
kids. And I was talking to her and had my godson with me. I was
Uh-huh.
young,
Mm-hmm.
and I was so interested in driving.
Uh,
And I told her I'd go get her car, and she's in the midst of a conversation and hands me the keys.
right.
And I put him in the seat. I actually cranked the car up.
Ooh.
And because of the fact that church was packed,
Yes.
when I backed out and had never driven before, I hit a Cadillac.
Woo.
I pulled back into the space. I hit the car next to that car.
You hit a Cadillac.
And then
That's
I
not
backed
good.
again. So I hit 5 cars in about a diameter of less than 100 feet.
Was it the pastor's Cadillac?
No, it was a very angry lady who I wrecked 4 cars
Ooh,
in less
you
than
did
five
some
minutes.
damage.
Yeah, I
First
caused a
time
lot.
behind the wheel.
First time behind the wheel. Yeah, in a Chevelle.
And a Chevelle.
So yeah, needless to say,
Needless to
yeah, no
say,
church. I went back in church, and
you would.
yeah, I tried to stay
I
in as
had to
much
go.
as I
I
could.
had to go back in there and
Yeah,
confess.
yeah.
Throw yourself on the altar
Throw myself at the mercy of my
at the
mother's
mercy.
feet.
You had some hands laid on you.
Yes,
I bet you
definitely.
did. I bet you did. I bet you did. Okay, let's see. So we talked a little bit about the Kingmaker and your book coming out. Tell
Mhm.
us a bit about your first book.
The mediocre man.
Mm,
5 keys to move from good to amazing.
okay.
And needed something. I saw books as a template and a rubric for
Mhm.
being the new business card,
Right.
and didn't have any notoriety. Nobody knew about our business,
Mhm.
and wanted to get my name out there.
Mm.
And the book was actually for women
Mhm.
who had either been in a relationship with a man,
Mhm.
known a man, been
Mhm.
raised by a man, or were interested in men.
Mm.
And it was giving women the reality that almost everything, this was a very controversial perspective, but
Mhm.
almost everything that you could see that had a negative ill or ail in a family, you could attribute it to what women were not doing.
Mm. Okay.
I wanted to create some tension, but
Mhm.
I wanted to raise the focus that we as men do everything to please women.
Mhm.
And the moment that you don't hold us accountable anymore,
Mm.
we
True.
then minimize our responsibility.
Right.
So if the corporate exec is okay with a dude sitting at home playing PlayStation
Mhm.
and driving her car,
Mhm.
then the chicken head has lowered her
Mhm.
level of requirement.
Right. Right.
It then trickles down because if you're telling me that I don't have to be a man,
Right.
then you're telling me that I don't have to be responsible for my community.
Mm.
So I recognize that you could be amazing in one area of your life and
Mhm.
then be mediocre everywhere else. So
Right.
that book transitioned the whole concept and got it
Wow.
rolling.
We could talk for a whole nother
I think
hour.
we could, yeah.
I think we could. We just might in the future.
I like it. I
We
like
just
it.
might in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an awesome conversation with Mr. Kervance Ross. We are here live at Bloodso's Survival Radio Network. We are having a wonderful afternoon. Our hashtag this afternoon is hashtag SRN Live, showing local love at Bloodso's. Hashtag We Do Radio. We are going to take a short break, pay some bills. Once again, thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Kervance
Thank you for
Ross,
having me.
and we will be back in a moment.
Yeah.